and welcome to a very special evening at Germantown campus of Montgomery College. I am Sanjay Rai, Vice President and Provost of the Germantown campus. I am also a great fan of the man we honor here tonight, Mr. Frank Islam. Frank has given so much to our students already. He was a featured presenter in the symposia last year, and he will be this year's inaugural speaker later this evening. We asked him to return because he so brilliantly engages our community members to expand their perspective and stimulate their minds to look at the big picture. Frank reminds us that as we as individuals, we as enterprises must stay nimble and able to adjust to our country's and our world's changing realities. He shares with us so willingly the personal outlook that propelled him to be one of the most successful entrepreneurs of our time. Mr. Islam believes in the symposia and in what we are trying to accomplish with it. And for that, we are most grateful. Frank, please stand for a moment. Can you keep standing for just one more minute? Your gift will help foster and inspire new leaders by providing an opportunity to learn from top leaders and innovators through the creation of the Frank Islam Athenaeum Symposia. Thank you for your generosity and thank you for your support. And now we can applaud. I'm so pleased to see many of our elected officials, community members, business leaders, friends of the college, members of the Montgomery College Foundation Board, Montgomery College Board of Trustees, Montgomery College Alumni Board of Governors, Montgomery College's students, faculty, staff, and administrators. I would like to introduce a few individuals. Starting with Montgomery College Board of Trustees, Dr. Les Levine. Montgomery College Board of Trustees, the Honorable Mike Knapp. Life Sciences Park Foundation Board Member, Mr. William Keller. Ms. Eileen Cahill, Vice President, Government Relations, Holy Cross Hospital. Montgomery College President, Dr. Darion Pollard. Montgomery College Senior Vice President, Dr. Don Pearl. Ms. Carol Ronrood, Montgomery College Foundation Executive Director. And again, Mr. Frank Islam, and a very special welcome to his wife, Mrs. Debbie Dreisman. Before I invite Montgomery College President to the podium, I would like to share with you a very brief story about how this symposia came to be. 3 years ago, on Dr. Pollard's first day on this campus, we were all nervous when the new president comes, and we prepared all kinds of standard things. But she talked about her experience that she had as an undergraduate student at Iowa State University that made a lasting impression on her. She went to one of her university's lecture series similar to what we are attempting here, and heard a lecture by Angela Davis, a prominent American political activist and for social change. By the way, as I understood from her, as undergraduate students, she was only permitted to sit on the steps of the auditorium to listen in. And we actually allow our students to sit on real seats, and they get the front row seats, they get the best seats. And I would like to acknowledge some very special group of students who are sitting on those seats. Hillman Scholars. Renaissance Scholars. Coming back to the Iowa State story, in the days that followed the lecture, everywhere Dr. Pollard went on the campus as a student, to class, to the cafeteria, to the study spaces, she heard students and faculty engaging in healthy and vigorous discussions, debate about that lecture. It had generated a buzz on the campus. She was so impressed by how captivating the experience was for everyone who attended that. Upon her start at Montgomery College, she encouraged us to craft similar experiences for students, to create for them a vibrant and intellectually stimulating environment that would engage their minds and stay with them well into their professional lives. With this speaker series, thanks to people like Mr. Islam, who graciously lend their expertise and insight to our community, I believe we have achieved Dr. Pollard's vision. Frank and our other featured presenters know that they too may have a future college president in their audience. I would also be remiss without acknowledging the outstanding leadership of Professor Joan Naik, whose talent and commitment literally built the symposia from ground up. Thank you, Joan. Would you please stand up? And it is now my pleasure to call Montgomery College President, Dr. Pollard, to the podium. Thank you.
So I'll tell you a little funny story. Dr. Rice sent me a text message not too long ago, and in that text message he said, "Who was that you heard that first week you at Iowa State?" And I kind of paused because I thought, what is he talking about? So I wrote him back and I said, "You mean when I was an undergraduate at Iowa State University?" He said, "Yes." He said, "You had to sit on the steps?" And I said, "Oh, Angela Davis." So then I told him, I said, I want to tell you more about that story. Give me a call." I said, "Well, why are you interested?" He said, "I can't tell you." So I just kind of paused and I said, okay, that's got to be a good story. So thank you very much. Where'd you go, Dr. Rai, for sharing that moment, because it was truly transformational in my life, not simply because I got to hear Angela Davis talk about race, feminism, political science in the context of an evolving America. I still remember that. But more importantly was what happened on the college campus after that, where we had faculty members sitting on a panel debating critical race theory from all different disciplines, then had the graduate students in the bar afterwards trying to replicate that. But more importantly was also the undergraduates the following days trying to replicate that and creating our own thoughts about what it meant to be an educated intellectual in this country. So I hope that this symposia presents that opportunity for students, because I am thoroughly convinced that there is a college president sitting in this room, several of them, who will go on and transform this world. Perhaps even a president of the United States is sitting in this room. So I'd like to thank Dr. Rai and our elected officials and our many dignitaries who are here today, our college leaders, our faculty, our staff, and most importantly, our students. This is why we do this work, and it's a wonderful opportunity to provide this space and place for you to hear some of the great minds of our country talk about the issues that are affecting us right now. And I have the greatest amount of enthusiasm and respect for Mr. Islam and his dedication to the American dream, and more importantly, to this institution. I am proud to call this year's lecture series the Frank Islam Athenaeum Symposia, named in honor of a true friend of the college and leader of our community. I had the pleasure of introducing Mr. Islam last year when he joined us in his very room, where he delivered a lecture where he talked about very clearly renewing the American dream. And I read with great interest his further exploration of those ideas in his book, which I love, because it talked about a very distinct part about what it means to be an American. And I would challenge each of you to think about that today as you listen to his comments. He exemplifies the American dream on so many levels, having moved to the United States from India at the age of 15 to pursue education. He went on to earn his bachelor's and master's degrees in computer science, and then he took out a modest home equity loan to fund his own government contracting firm specializing in information technology, computer science, aerospace engineering, and systems integration. His business that started with a single employee, himself, has now grown and has lasted 13 years to 2,000 employees. Moreover, in 2007, when he sold his company, he sold it for $250 million. I say that because that is an American dream. That's what we all aspire to in many places and spaces in this country, the idea to take an idea, to grow it, to work hard at it, and begin to see the benefits of that. Mr. Islam has single-handedly witnessed the power of education. He gets it. And more importantly, he gets us at Montgomery College. In fact, when explaining his decision to generously sponsor this year's symposia, he said, quote, "Community colleges are pivotal to the future of America, and Montgomery College, through opportunities like the symposia, is playing a significant role in creating the next generation of leaders. Through our foundation grant, my wife Debbie and I recognize that education happens inside and outside of the classroom, and that for students to be successful in the workplace, they will need to be lifelong learners about international affairs, global peace, social issues, economics, the arts, and politics." Now, I think that's somebody who gets it. Do you agree? What he gets is that our position as a community college goes beyond textbook education. We are here to empower our students, not just to learn about learnings, but also how to think. And that's something that's very powerful. We are here to be a thought center and a thought generator for our students and for our entire community. This is the integral part of our strategic plan, Montgomery College 2020, that emphasizes our role as a place that facilitates intercultural understanding and/or neutral public dialogues on issues of importance and to bring the community to the college. As I look around this room, I think we have been successful in bringing the community to the college. This symposia provides the opportunity for those dialogues. The speakers in this year's symposia are simply outstanding. Outstanding across the board. I challenge you to look at the brochure that describes them. From business leaders and philanthropists like Frank Islam to social political activists like Mahatma Gandhi's grandson, Arun Gandhi, and musicians and artists, this single series provides our students and the community that we serve with unique access to some of the world's most important and distinguished thinkers. These talks plant the very seeds of intellectualism that will grow and flourish in the successful leaders of tomorrow. Indeed, community colleges are central, or, as Mr. Islam says, pivotal to our country's future. So too are philanthropists and education enthusiasts like Mr. Islam, whose story and dedication inspire countless students not just to learn, but also to think and to dream. I have no doubt that his inaugural lecture this evening will undoubtedly inspire us all. I now ask Trustee Dr. Levine, Montgomery College Foundation Executive Director Ms. Carol Runrud, Dean Joan Nake, Professor David Carter, and Mr. Islam to please join me at the podium to present a token of our appreciation to Mr. Islam.